Hello, I'm Lady Juniper, and today we are going to be having a look at what does an average Alhaitham look like. I have my Alhaitham, he's level 80. I do have currently his signature weapon on him, but we're going to change all that. Now, you might be wondering what I mean by an average Alhaitham. I mean an Alhaitham that you could have farmed in I guess the first 2 weeks of acquiring him. This is my stats on Alhaitham. He doesn't have a very good attack stat. I mean these weapons a bit level level 72. But that's okay. We're not going to be using that today. We're going to be using the umbrella. I would use the iron sting, but I need that on Cookie. But these two weapons, I believe the umbrella does slightly better damage output than iron sting on Alhaitham, but they're very similar. So damage-wise, it's not too undifferent. So we've got umbrella, his artifacts. I'll just show them to you quickly to show what I mean. So as you can see, pretty average. I only had to steal one piece for him, which is my Barbara's Elemental Mastery Goblet, which is really good. Really good piece for him. I've got an okay dendro damage goblet and an okay crit thing, which I need to check what his stats look like with this. Oh, it's painful. It's painful. But so we're gonna have to have a terrible. I would put him on Black Sword. I have a Black Sword here. But because this is not a free-to-play weapon, you get it through the battle pass. I'm not going to play him on the Black Sword to make up for that crit rate. If you have the Black Sword and you're struggling with crit rate, this might be better, but more EM is always good. This puts my Alhaitham's EM at 622. Just to show you, I only have one EM piece on him. A lot of that EM is coming from my crit rate thing, which this is the one I previously had on Sino. But yeah, it's pretty good. You want him really on Gilded Dreams. You do not really want him on Deepwood Memories. Ideally, you want someone else on your team with Deepwood Memories. For best performance, you want him on Gilded Dreams. If he is the only Dendro unit in your team, I would still look at putting Deepwood Memories on someone else. Lots of people put Deepwood Memories on Cookie. That's fine. I don't think Deepwood Memories is best for Alhaitham personally. But yeah, that's my average Alhaitham. Now he looks terrible with the umbrella. Look at it. Oh, I didn't realise it glows. That's cool. But yeah, he's all leveled up. Just to show you, I have 887 in talent. I don't have the money to level up his final one. So pretty maxed out there. He's at level 80. I've got him on Umbrella. His artifact stats are no constellations. I will be running him with, and this is my personal recommended team. But I'm running him alongside a C6 Cookie. Now, Nahida is his best Dendro companion. There, obviously, you can run him alongside other Dendro units, but Nahida is his best Dendro companion because she gives her entire team EM, and Alhaitham does extra damage with EM on top of EM boosting his spread reactions. So all out, Alhaitham is massively buffed with Nahida. That said, we will not be running him with Nahida. We will be running him with Traveller today because that's more fair for those of you who do not have Nahida to see his numbers. But yeah, I'll be running him with Traveller, so he will not be getting the extra EM bonus from Nahida. It's not a big deal, honestly. You kind of do want a second Dendro unit with Alhaitham, and I will explain why shortly. I have been running Alhaitham with Cookie, Nahida, Tanari, and himself for a very satisfying team. And it's for the reason why you will want to run him with a second Dendro unit for best performance. And this isn't even talking about the double duo boost thing, which you get extra EM for. No, this is because, to explain, Cookie does her thing. You do the other character's E or Alt or whatever, and then you go on Alhaitham. That means the first attack he does spread because there's already dendro on an opponent. If you if you get the logic there, you want to be running him with a second dendro unit, so the first hit you do will be a spread reaction. Makes sense, right? It works very well. It works very well with Nahida. It's gonna work very well with Traveller. Where are we going? So, we try him out. Shall I show you what damage an average Alhaitham can do? Okay, we're gonna do this guy here. Now I'm running him alongside Beidou instead of Fischl because spread reactions don't don't cause Fischl's Ascension passive to activate. The quicken reactions do trigger her Ascension passive, but spread doesn't. And while having extra ticks on Oz with Fischl is good and all, I just feel like the combination of Cookie, then your extra Dendro, whether that be Yao Yao or Dendro MC or Nahida, and then Beidou, who my Beidou isn't all leveled up. She has terrible artifacts, so she's only going to be bursting every other rotation. But assuming you had a properly built Beidou, her ult works fantastically with Alhaitham. I like Cookie because she's a healer and her E hits pretty much all the enemies, which means that Alhaitham, he does have some AoE, which means you're doing a lot more spreads, you're doing a lot more quickens. It works out very well. But we want to start with Cookie. It's a Pyro one today. So let's just show the numbers. Another reason I wanted to do this with Danger MC rather than Nahida is Nahida does a lot of damage by herself, and sometimes it's very unclear to see what damage Alhaitham is doing. I don't know what damage Alhaitham's going to be doing on the Umbrella, honestly, because I've been having his weapon. But we'll see. We'll see together. Okay. So as you can see, we've got some 23Ks. Oh, I didn't want to do that, but it's all good. 23Ks, I think, on the triple mirrors. It's all good. It's all good. Oop. Oh, ow, ow. Can we... Oh, it's so nice to be able to actually see his damage clearly without Nida. Oh, ow. Cookie, heal yourself, please. I didn't realise this thing is almost dead. That was remarkably quick for me. But yeah, you could see there he was doing 23k spreads, I think, which is quite a lot of damage. I do think, like, Nahida does a lot with her Tri-Karma, but on field, Nahida doesn't do so much. So I want to demonstrate what kind of damage you're going to be doing in comparison to, like, Nahida. So if you see my Nahida Trichoma does a lot, but she's doing like 6k on this dude. Where's the other one go? Where'd he go? There he is. If we do Alhaitham, 12k. Okay, so to do like a direct comparison between Nahida and Alhaitham, come on, get up. We just compare general damage. So we just get some hits on this guy. So as you can see, Nahida's doing 6k spreads. Oop. when she crits. I mean, she does a lot more than that with her Trikarma. But if we try that again with Alhaitham, just to show the difference. So Nahida is just on her autos, because she's a dendro applier, does 6k. Alhaitham is doing, there's a 17k. 17, the thing's almost dead. Now, I assume that you saw the big difference in damage. Nahida is a catalyst user, which means she can very quickly apply dendro. But when it comes to doing spread, she's not actually doing that much damage. Her main damage dealer in a party is her Trikarma. These things, her Trikarma does like 22 to 30k damage, I think, off memory. She's doing a lot with her Trikarma, which means she's a much better off-field unit for your party. Like my Nahida, as you can see, she doesn't have a very good crit rate, but her crit damage is pretty much the equivalent to Alhaitham, which means she's not doing a lot of damage on her attack. I mean, Nahida does have a lower attack stat than Alhaitham as well. But if you want to use Nahida as your on-field damage driver, in comparison to Alhaitham, she's just not going to do as much. Her Trikarma does a lot. And it's really good for energy generation, and it's very good for it. I mean, when you play her on a triple dendro team, I don't know if this is so much of Nahida and Alhaitham, I haven't noticed as much. Her Trikarma is quite often doing spread damage rather than just reapplying dendro or doing quicken. So you have every instance of it doing massive damage because it's triggering spread, which is really funny. And it just makes everything melt, which is why I've really been enjoying a triple dendro team, because everything is triggering you're triggering so many spreads in the team. I haven't seen many people talk about triple dendro. You see a lot of people talking about triple electro, when I think spread and aggravate are meant to do very similar damage. It's just that in aggravate, obviously you've got Fischl, and Fischl's also proc a lot more in a pure aggravate team, where in a spread team he doesn't. But if you're playing a spread team with just Cookie, and then you've got Nahida, who is a quick swap, and then you've got Tanari, who is a quick swap, and then you've got Alhaitham, who is the main damage driver, and if you're very good with your timings, you can do his ult, swap back into Cookie to reapply her skill, and then swap back to collect the crystals. It's amazing. It's amazing if you get the timings right. Now, my Tanari doesn't have any built artifacts on him, so I'm not going to feature that team. I might come back and look at it once I've got Tanari fully geared, but I don't really want to show that team off and how much damage it can do until I have an average Tanari to showcase, if you get what I mean. But yeah, if you want to know like damage output, Nahida does lots of damage on her E. Alhaitham does a lot more damage on his attacks. Now, if you just want a driver, I kind of think Alhaitham is the better driver just because he does more damage at driving than Nahida. Nahida doesn't do that much. It's all her Trikarma. It's her Trikarma doing the damage, not her attacks. If you want the attack damage, it will be Alhaitham. Otherwise, Nahida will do very consistent dendro damage. But Nahida's purpose on most teams is to keep the dendro applied on all the units. It's not usually her job to do the spread. It's not really Nahida's job on most teams to do spread. It's on Nahida's job to apply dendro. She can do blooms. She's the best unit in bloom teams. But if you want to do a spread team, it's Alhaitham. He's a spread character. I see people building aggravate teams around Alhaitham, and he is a spread character. Yeah. why people would play him double electro. You don't need more electro. Quicken causes electro to stay on the field longer. You don't need more than one electro unit with Alhaitham. There's just no point. I've been playing Cookie with 3 dendro, it's fine. There's more than enough electro for everybody. But I digress. Shall we see how good Alhaitham does in Abyss? Look at me, guys. I managed to get to floor 12 and unlock 3, which is really good for me. It's very good. I don't know if we're going to do more than one floor, honestly. I'm going to try Quick Bloom for this, actually, because I haven't done that yet. I haven't done it so much. It's okay. It's fine. It's because Hyper Bloom is really good in all teams. You know what I haven't tried yet? National. He's in my level 80 squad. Kazuha, who is on the wrong weapon. It's cool. It's cool. Here's a crit stick. So just to demonstrate him in Abyss. So your general rotation in this is you apply your dendro, you apply your hydro, they're all dead. We reapply everything. Yeah, my leader does so much damage. I think the most difficult thing about playing Alhaitham is keeping track of how many mirrors he still has active. Because they're very difficult to see when you're moving about in the map. Like, it's very easy to lose track of them. But if you're having trouble keeping track of them, you just count the amount of ones going down. Oh, they all died! And then, if you keep track of how many are going down, you should be able to kind of get your timing right. It's not too bad. Come on. This is so funny. Oh. Yeah, I can see why people think this is a bit OP. Oh, I've not tried it with the Abyss Herald yet, so this will be funny. Oh no! Oh, he does so much damage! It's so satisfying. Come on, get your healing. Get your healing, please. Okay, okay. Just do this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Then you charge attack for the extra mirror. That means we use the skill. So you want to do 2 castings, and then once your mirrors run off, it doesn't matter so much anymore. Oh, this is going so well. There should be another one, proc, and we charge, and we use a skill, and we're done. That was the most easiest Abyss Herald I've done yet. Oh my goodness, that was so easy. I can't believe it. I don't know what time I was doing. It's all good. Okay, we want to proc this, and no. Come on, jump! There we go. It's all beautiful damage. Oh my god. I can see why people like National. Yeah, this is really good actually. Oh my god, that's National. um, I shouldn't laugh. That was just Alright, let's see if we can do this side. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Come on. Come on, no, do your thing. Oh no. Come on, don't. Ah! Oh no. There we go, that's better. No. Hopefully you got an idea of his strength from that. Obviously my team isn't fully geared up. I'm not very good on the combos side. Cookie is not all geared up. Just to show you. He's got a lot of 0 artifacts. It's not great. It's not the best. I have her on, what do I have her on? I have her on 2-piece Wanderer and 2-piece, what are these? Clam. Just because I've got some really good EM clam pieces, or potentially very good EM clam pieces, so I think it all works out as far as stats go. I won't really know until I've got them all leveled. I really should get Cookie to level 80. But you get the general idea, right? Alhaitham is a solid unit. He does solid damage with very minimal investment, really. Like he was doing over 20k hits, which is very good. I know he can do much higher. I've seen Alhaithams that do like 70k damage. I'm not sure if they'll see 0, but that's quite a lot on a on-field kind of driver character that isn't a catalyst. I don't think you need Nahida to play him. I think he does need a second dendro support. Like Nahida's EM buff is really nice. It's really solid. But as you can see, he's got an EM buff here of 622. He was doing really good damage. If I had him on his normal weapon, the buff he gets from Nahida would be give him generally that amount of EM anyway. So if you have a Nahida and you have a spare to play with him on a team, you have a very solid delivery. But it's not bad because having any dendro is good because it puts dendro on the field and it means our Hayfoam can go straight on the field and do straight up spread damage, which is good. It's nice. Especially if you have to cut his rotation in 2 because his energy recharge needs. Alhaitham is a very flexible unit on how you play him. Like, ideally, you want to be doing Q and then you want to attack for 4 seconds. So, the best way to know that is to see when you see the swords come flying down and twice. Once they've done it the second time, you do a charge attack and then you wait for another 2 times come down and then you do your skill. You can switch the skill and the charge attack. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what order you do it in because because of the cooldowns, by the time you've done a full rotation again, your ult is back. You do your ult, and then you go through them again. Like Alhaitham, pretty much, if you've got the recharge, has 100% uptime on his mirrors. Um, when he's on the field, and he's on the field for about 12 seconds. You can keep him on the field longer than the 12 seconds, but his max damage output is when he has the mirrors up. And when he loses his third lot of mirrors, then you can feel like you can swap him out to another character if you want to give him a shorter rotation, because there's the quicken effect is no longer on the enemies or something. It depends whether or not you've had time to swap into Cookie or Beidou to get the Electra back on the field, on how long you want to do that rotation. But he has a much shorter rotation than someone like Sino or Wanderer, who are like 16 seconds generally minimum. He's 12. You can cut that even short if you want. Like there's sometimes that I'll only do a double triple mirror, like so you do your ult and then you do your charge attack, and then once your three mirrors is gone, I'll swap out to reapply or go back, because it depends on like the situation. But then that means if I want to, I can switch back into him, do his E, and then maybe do his burst, which does a bit more damage. That's like a kind of more finishing move kind of thing, you know. But you get what I mean, yeah. He's he's very flexible. I've seen lots of people complain on Twitter that he's like the new child, but I think he's a lot easier than a lot of 5 stars, because you'll see people talking about optimal attack strings for characters. Like they'll be like, oh, you need to do 3 normal attacks and then a charge attack and then 2 normal attacks and then another charge attack and then 3 normal attacks and a charge attack and then ult. And it's like, I ain't got time to count normal attacks. I'm sorry. I'm very basic. There's a reason why my characters are all average. And Alhaitham is a character you don't have to do that with, because you just count the mirrors. And once, or the swords flying down, you got 2 swords, you do a charge attack. You got 2 swords, you do a charge attack. You do your skill. Or whatever. You don't need to remember attack combos. All you need to do is pay attention to how many mirrors he has, which can be very difficult, I know, which is why you need to pay attention to when the swords fly down and how many there are. You see 2 done, you do your next thing. If you think you've done like charge attack and then another 2 hasn't come down, just look out for those mirrors. If there's 2, it means you need to use your skill now. The timings are a little bit generous, but if you're very slow on it, it means you only get 1 extra lot of swords, because I think each of the mirrors have an individual countdown. I think. But on an ideal rotation, you're getting six raining down swords, which is very pog. It does a lot of damage, and in that way, he does a lot more damage than the healer. He does. Anyone, I it really depends what your Nahida looks like, but if she's pretty average, like mine, Nahida's main damage is her trike armor. It's not her normal attacks. And that's why people tell you not to level her normal attacks. It's not her strength. On Alhaitham, talking about his talents here, I believe you want all of these really high. I'm not sure if the scaling on this comes off of his normal attacks. But everybody I've seen doing guides on them says to level his normal attacks, which means to me they somehow factor into this damage. Not sure myself. But yeah, I've seen people complain about the 18-second cooldown. This honestly doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like constellations, all these constellations, all they're doing is building up to his C6. Like the C1, its entire purpose is to make its C6 better. Every single one of these is to make his C6 better. They they will like Sebi did a chart on it on how much, I think it was Sebi did a chart on how much of a damage upgrade his constellations do, and there's like no damage, real big damage increase until you get to his C5 and the biggest one at C6, and that's all because if you I personally think these constellations entire purpose is to make his C6 ridiculous, because the C1 doesn't influence your gameplay if you got the rotation down unless you have his C6, in which case having the cooldown reduction means you can do your skill, do a charge attack, do your mirrors. You've got your mirrors back at the end of the ult, and then um and then your E skill should be back up, and then I think maybe your charge attack might be up. But that the C6 does mean for potentially much longer rotation for Alhaitham on the field. I think putting him up to 16 seconds potentially. I don't have a C6 Alhaitham, so I'm not sure, and I don't think a lot of testing's been done on it. But I think C6 Alhaitham potentially going up to a 16 seconds rotation on him, which is very long. Obviously, you don't have to do the second like mirror proc from your extra skill, and keep it to like a 12-second rotation or your charge attack or whatever, which I think is the perfect amount of time on the field for him. Perfect amount of time to go through it and then go back and refresh everything to get your electro back on the enemies and such and such. People have said he's not super good in Bloom teams. I feel like that's because in Bloom teams, the only stat that really matters is EM, which makes sense why Nahida and probably Yao Yao might be better in a Bloom team, because you can build them a bit more EM focused. Like you could build your Yao Yao with like EM artifacts, and then the dud ones with really high HP or whatever, right? Where Alhaitham, he does best with an electro partner because his damage scales better with an electro partner. I don't think like his spread thing doesn't do much on a Bloom team. Um, it's fine. Like the Blooms will do decent, especially if you've got like an EM of 600, right? But as a unit, he is solid. If you want to pick him up instead of Nahida, yeah, he's pretty good. If you have Nahida, he will be even better. You don't necessarily have to play him with Nahida, but you do want to play him with another dendro for the recharge and for the resonance. I think double electro, double dendro, great. I think he's meant to be really good in Hyper Bloom. Haven't tested it too much, but I'm pretty sure it's great, especially if you have Nahida. Probably not as good if you don't have Nahida, but if you have like a cookie and like 1,000 EM, then yeah, why not Hyper Bloom? Your cookie's doing all the damage. Doing like, what is like 60k Hyper Blooms, I think? I don't know. Uh, my personal favourite team is the triple dendro, just because it's funny and different. Yeah, I think he's solid. Is he better than other 5-star units? I don't know. I've said people say he's on the same tier as Hu Tao, um, and that could arguably be because he can do blooms and spreads and thus more damage output. The thing with Dendro, it's so easy to build. You just whack a lot of EM on people and it does damage. There's not a lot of thinking about it. Obviously, you still need crit stats. Those are still important. The main issue with Dendro teams is getting those Dendro goblets and such and such. But it's all good. It's all good. I hope this was informative. Should you pull Alhaitham? He's really good. I'm having a lot of fun with him. Um, he's not really that complicated once you've got the attack pattern down. It just requires some paying attention if you don't want to counterattacks. Yeah, he's really strong. Like I did the Abyss Herald so quickly, and I usually die over and over and over again. Like I'm sure you've all seen my Zhao attempt of doing that room in Abyss. Where with Alhaitham it took seconds, and that might have been because they were Hydro Abyss mages. I don't know, but yeah, would recommend Alhaitham. He is fun. I know people have called him the Dendro Kaching. Well, you know what? Kaching is fun to play. So why? And he doesn't play anything like Kaching anyway, because Kaching has a different way to play her. Where Alhaitham, the only difficult thing with Alhaitham is remembering his burst goes first rather than last, which is like a habit, I guess, with a normal rotation. Obviously, I guess with this, if everybody's bursts up, you do burst and then a skill or whatever. But I'm terrible on energy recharge, so that's not usually how it goes for me. um, yeah. Hopefully that was informative. I would recommend Alhaitham. I think he's a solid unit. If you want more information on his bigger numbers, there's a lot of Genshin YouTubers out there that do videos at like really high tier damage. I don't think my alpha. I don't think my artifacts are the worst on him, honestly. I think they're a bit better than average, I think. But yeah, one thing I will add at the end, if you were wondering whether or not to pull his constellations, keeping in mind all his constellations are building up to his C6, the best investment you can get for Alhaitham for a damage increase is his signature weapon. I think I think it was Sebi who said that it was like a 25% damage increase, which is the same damage increase of going up to like C5. So the sword is a better pull than his constellations. Obviously, if you want to get constellations to save up to potentially eventually one day getting C6, fine. I'm not sure you're going to feel much of a difference until you get to like his C4. I think his C2 is really good. Lots of people are like, EM, but you need lots of EM on him to do more damage. So well, I don't understand it, but apparently the damage scaling is not really that big. But yeah, that's it for me. Do leave a like. Do subscribe if you're not already. Let me know if you found this informative or if maybe I missed some bits. I might have done. I didn't want to do lots of bosses today. I just wanted to demonstrate my boy. But yeah, leave us a like. Do subscribe. Leave us a comment if you want. And I'll see you next time, guys, in the next video. Goodbye!